Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Friday, April 25th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. The marine layer has deepened even further to around 5,000 feet deep this morning as an area of low pressure approaches the California coast. Once again, low clouds have surged all the way through the coastal valleys and have extended across the coastal slopes very closely approaching the deserts. The cloud cover is a bit more scattered in nature today as compared to the last few days, which is typical when the marine layer becomes excessively deep because the organization is disrupted by the cold air aloft. As is typical of a deep marine layer pattern, clearing will be extremely sluggish to non-existent in many areas. In a pattern like this, with a very deep marine layer combined with strong onshore flow, reverse clearing is likely, meaning that the coastal areas will clear before the valleys. Thanks to the very deep marine layer with limited clearing expected, temperatures south and west of the coastal slopes will remain on the cooler side today, with highs largely in the 60s. Temperatures will be warmer away from the marine influence, but still quite a bit cooler than it was earlier this week due to the low pressure off the coast. The Central Valley and high desert are likely to range in the low 70s at best, while the low desert will be in the low to mid 80s. Along with the cooler temperatures, humidity will remain elevated across most areas, with minimums at least 20 to 40%, except higher near the coastline. The deserts remain the exception, with minimums continuing to range in the single digits and teens. Strong onshore flow is expected to remain in place today as low pressure remains off the California coast. Breezy westerly winds are expected everywhere by this afternoon, strongest across the interior to the lee of the coastal slopes and the Sierra, where wind gusts of 30 to 50 miles an hour will be common. Some of the typically windier areas may gust in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range at times. These breezy winds are expected to continue through the weekend as low pressure continues to dominate. The weather pattern over the next 7 to 10 days will continue to be quite benign with no major issues. The area of low pressure currently off the coast of Northern California is expected to move through the state through the weekend, keeping cool, cloudy, and moist weather conditions in place, with some chances for showers. High pressure will then become reestablished over the western U.S. next week, leading to a return of warmer and drier weather. Due to the area of low pressure expected to move through the state through the weekend, there will be increasing chances of showers as specific moisture is scooped up and directed into the state. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will begin to overspread Central California today, especially near and along the Sierra. Then more widespread showers are likely to spread across most of the region on Saturday. Light shower activity may linger through Sunday. Rainfall totals will not be homogeneous due to the showery nature of the precipitation, but most areas across Central and portions of Southern California will likely receive a quarter to half inch of rainfall. There will be enhanced totals in the higher terrain up to an inch, potentially a bit higher across the Sierra. Even though these totals are quite light, this is still some decent moisture as we approach the dry season and will help slow the progression of fire season. While low pressure remains in control, temperatures are likely to remain cool through the weekend with very little in the way of significant changes. Saturday will likely be the coolest day of the forecast period, with 70s limited to the low deserts. Then Sunday will be back to similar temperatures as today. Temperatures are then expected to rise steadily early to mid next week as the low departs and high pressure builds back in. High pressure will not be particularly strong, so temperatures are likely to rebound near to a little above normal values. Here's a look at the forecast high temperatures by next Wednesday. Notice highs will be mostly in the 70s near the coast and 80s across the interior. With building high pressure, the marine layer will become more shallow and humidity will lower across the board, back to around 15 to 30%. With the cool and wet weather through the weekend, fire potential will be on a downward trend for the coming days, back to more negligible levels. We will need at least a few days into next week to dry back out, so expect little to no fire activity through early next week. Heavier dead fuel moisture should see substantial increases this weekend, with potential impacts on burn projects due to excess moisture. Better burn windows should re-emerge early next week as we dry back out. Fire potential will likely increase again with sufficient drying later next week. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Monday, April 28th. Have a fantastic day.